What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie, the Precision Rifle Sniper. On the last episode you guys seen that we had the MDT chassis Savage B22 out on the range. We had some trouble getting some groups out of this thing, so I ended up cutting the video short, being pretty frustrated with the group size. I've taken this thing back, I've scrubbed the barrel out on it. I actually run some JB board paste through it. Try to just smooth out and clean up the barrel the best I can. So I had a suggestion to make sure that check the torques on it. So I took everything apart, I retorqued everything, double checked all the mounts, and I've actually only tightened the action screws down to 20 inch-pounds. So one of the suggestions was to test the torque on the chassis every 5 foot-pounds or so to see if that modified the group or changed the grouping. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. Also, there's a lot of suggestions on the suppressor. Double check to make sure everything was tight on the suppressor, and the rifle was actually grouping better with the suppressor on. I did a few groups on the last video with and without it. I have also brought out a few different types of ammo here. A few SKs, some Lapua long range, and then your old traditional CCI standard. We're going to run the chronograph today. So I'm going to start out with just the SK long range match because I have plenty of that stuff around. I'll probably shoot a couple of 10-round groups here, foul back in the barrel before we actually start testing the torque on this thing. Hopefully we'll get the ammo and groups figured out. Like I said, I'm not expecting a laser beam here, but I am expecting at least, would a ½ inch at 25 yards be too much to ask for? I wouldn't think so. To keep this video not being so long, I'm going to go ahead and get started testing. If I fast forward through a lot of the grouping, that's for your own benefit so you don't get super bored and you just see what the size of the groups are. So stick around, let's get this thing going. I'm just going to go down the row starting from the very top left corner and go towards the right and just work myself down instead of randomly picking targets today. So after doing my torquing and testing, it appears that we're about 3 mils high, so I'm going to go ahead and come down. I'm going to go back to that same target. Let's go ahead and put another 10-shot group right next to that one. I'll say group, it's not really a group. I had a couple of failures to feed there. It really boogered up the end of the round when it hit the chamber. I've tried to research this thing. There's not a lot on the internet dealing with this. Apparently it's not a real popular rifle. Move over one more. I'm actually going to dial left a ½ mil. I don't know, that might be the best group I've ever got on this. go down to the next target. All right, so the chassis is torqued right now to only 20 inch-pounds. So I'm thinking we're about to go up to 30. We're going to make some pretty big jumps to start with, just to see if it gets better or worse. Alright, so we're up to 30 inch-pounds on the chassis. I'm going to just go ahead and go down another row. That's not a bad group there. Actually, other than that one shot, we might have had a half-inch group. I'm going to put another 10 rounds through it at 30 inch-pounds. Just go to the right of that one. That's the best group I've ever got through this rifle. I brought enough of this. I didn't bring much of that. So we're going to take note of that 30 inch-pounds on that chassis. Let's dial it up again to 40 and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so we got a new session started. We're at 40 inch-pounds on the chassis. Let's just go down to the next row of targets so we're not getting these confused. You know, 20, 30, 40. Definitely didn't get tighter. Alright, so I actually went back down to 30 inch-pounds. That seemed to be the best so far. Let's try it again. I'm going to go back up to the 30 inch-pound line. Everything down. We started at 20 inch-pounds on the chassis. We just kept increasing until we got to about 40 inch-pounds here. All these groups are roughly the same at just under a half inch. with no improvement. So we went back up to the 30 inch-pounds. We shot this group. This is kind of the best I've got out of it so far. We went ahead and did some ammo lot testing with it. We started out with some semi-auto, about an inch, some long-range rifle mat, all these, about an inch, over an inch, another inch. This one is at 50 yards, so some rifle match, over an inch. This one's about an inch. Then we moved on to some Lapua long range, super long range. We got about over an inch, inch and a half. Moved on to some CCI standard velocity and got roughly an inch, two groups at roughly an inch. I don't know if I'm expecting too much out of this. What do you guys think? Are these what I should be expecting out of this Savage B22 Precision? Or do you think I should be expecting more? And continue working on this, maybe contact Savage about this and see if they want to switch it out. But let me know in the comments. But stick around. We're going to continue working with this gun and see if we can't get some improvements out of it.